Having said all that, you guys are here for the juice and the grease. So I'm going to give you guys the grease and the juice, and that all has to do with Froggy Fresh.
You know, we live in kind of a weird timeline. iDubbbz has done a complete 180 from what he used to be. Some of you will watch this video, won't care. Felt like it'd be an interesting subject because the dude has completely changed from the content creator he used to be. And there was a controversy between him and another couple content creators about Froggy getting kicked off of Creator Clash 2, which is, you know, content creators boxing each other, and his feud with Sam Hyde kind of intermingling with that. Let's just get right into the meat and potatoes of it.
I have no idea what public perception for this video is going to be. That's why I'm doing it now, right? The event is now over with. I can risk it, you know? I can air my grievances and we can see where it goes.
I mean, let's be honest here. That's a smart tactic. Why are you going to want to give a guy you do not like more exposure? Sam Hyde and iDubbbz have been butting heads for quite a bit at this time. And, yeah, makes sense for him to wait until the event is over with.
I think a lot of the content I've made has been irresponsible and misguided. And I think I've hurt a lot of people with the content I've made. You know, despite many people being entertained by it, you know, I'm not trying to take that away from you. If you feel like you've learned important lessons or you have grown as a person because of the content I've made, I don't want to take that away from you. With some good can come a lot of bad. And I think I've done a lot of bad, and you know, at the bare minimum, I've just put a lot of negativity out there in the world.
iDubbbz is in a very interesting situation. He's a content creator that, you know, I mean, he made content comp. He himself was just kind of like Sam Hyde, made a lot of edgy humor, even kind of went after people he, you know, considered as frauds. And, you know, I just have to be honest with you. It's kind of karma in a way. Right? I'm not saying the people that he didn't go after were scumbags in their own right, but let's just be very clear. When you make that type of material, you kind of live or die by it. And as human beings, we continually grow and evolve, but your audience might not evolve with you, and you're kind of stuck as a content creator because you have core dedicated fans that expect a certain type of material from you. And now you've done a complete 180. That's why he's seeing the kickback he is.
The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde.
Sam Hyde and iDubbbz do not get along. I mean, just look what Sam Hyde says about the guy's wife.
I don't think so, Anissa. Bitch. Ho. Fucking Anissa. What an ugly piece of shit. But look how beat she is. Oh, nice jack-o'-lantern teeth. That's like I can't wait to see what she looks like when she's 32. Her teeth look like a pumpkin head. Like it's the Anissa Joma hole stretcher. I'm sending this to Anissa's OnlyFans. It goes directly into charity. Yeah. Everybody hates him and his wife's a slut.
I didn't want to kick him from the card. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't want you working or training with Sam Hyde, but you're doing that, so all right, I'll look past it. I don't want you making content with Sam Hyde, but it seems like that's a real deal breaker for you, so I guess I'll look past it.
So the problem here, Ian, is I'll be really frank with you here. Your text messages of essentially saying that he doesn't want Sam Hyde involved in the event, which, you know, makes sense. You guys are not really friends. Let's just put that very lightly. But you can't control what people do in their own life. If they want to associate with certain people, they're going to associate with. You can't get in between that. And you walked it back throughout your text messages, but let's just be very clear. You overstepped with that request. Now, asking Sam Hyde not to be involved in the event, I mean, that's fine. That is your right. You are the one that is, you know, in charge of this. You're just the organizer of the event. You're not the guy's boss.
Do you think it's appropriate that, I don't know, a 30-something-year-old man is publicly calling my wife a whore and a slut?
I think initially you can just buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this has got a separate Etsy page where she sells her pussy.
This might get me a little bit of flames, but I'm just going to say it. When you put yourself out there on OnlyFans or any of these services to sell naked pictures, people can say whatever they want to. You can't control what people say, think. A lot of people look down on that type of profession, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really blame them. You're selling your body, very intimate side of yourself, for cash. I mean, yeah, some people aren't for sex work because we don't talk about, even in illegal sex work, the negative ramifications that has on young girls that think, oh, well, I have nothing going on for me. Let me sell my body to get by. We're all about empowerment and women empowerment. But generally, people that I've met that have gone through that life look back on it fairly negatively. That's not going to be every single sex worker, obviously, but let's just be very clear here. It's not a glamorous job to have, and you're selling yourself just to get by. That's why people look down on it. This is the one thing that iDubbbz shouldn't have put in here. This is a reaction towards Froggy, I would say, idolizing Sam Hyde.
How am I the simp? How am I the simp? I want to know. Is it because it's a woman? It's because it's a woman, isn't it?
Why are you the simp? Your wife is getting paid by random people on the internet for her to do sexual things, to have sexual pictures and videos that they can enjoy and kind of get off to. And you are all for that. I mean, to each their own, but that's not necessarily a good look. And you also took your wife's last name. That's just kind of simpish type behavior. Now, Froggy and Sam Hyde aren't innocent in this matter. You know, Hyde just likes to say offensive jokes, and Froggy's kind of poking the bear. But the thing that kind of stuck out to me was this segment talking about iDubbbz's wife reaching out to him via text.
Anisa's concern text of hope everything's going okay was a way for her to try to manipulate the situation, to try to do further investigation into my friendship with Sam Hyde.
I don't really understand how this text message is manipulative. Hey, Tyler, I'm not with Ian. I'm home visiting family. Ian called me not feeling great, and I'm just trying to understand what's happening or how I can help. Maybe there's context I'm missing there. I think that's a little bit of an overreach from Froggy.
But unfortunately, a lot of people who think that I've changed or call me a cuck or whatever, they've decided, instead of saying that I've changed and that I'm the decider of my future, it's that Anisa has changed me.
I'll agree with Ian on this. He's the one that changed. Anisa didn't force that. Maybe she helped encourage some type of behavioral changes. But let's be very clear. He's a grown man that has made the decision to become the complete thing he used to hate. And I'm not trying to say that in an insulting manner. I'm just being honest. 2023 iDubbbz would be getting roasted by the 2015-2016 version. He has completely changed, and he has to understand that some people within his fan base are not going to continue to support him because he's not who he used to be.
I don't think Froggy respects sex workers. I think he has some really old, tired opinions about people who do sex work. I think he has a lot of weird opinions as well about masculinity and shit.
Ian, of course people look down on it. They're selling their body for money. She is selling herself online to other men while she is married for a paycheck. That should be looked down upon. OnlyFans for these women, where they're just using their assets, quote unquote, to get by instead of their intelligence and kind of fostering their creativity. Yeah, a lot of people look down on it. I look down on it. I mean, to each their own. You want to go do that, do that. But I'm going to have the right to have an opinion on that style of life. Would you want your daughter to be getting exposed to a bunch of grown men? Would you want your daughter to be getting fucked by hundreds and hundreds of men? And if you say yes, there is something fucking wrong with you in the head.
I think they give away like OnlyFans girls there at these events. I don't know what kind of sponsorships going on. Like if you win certain fights, I think you get to own some of these girls for some of the nights.
Awesome.
I don't know how it works, but I think Chris was like he had plans to go beat up a nerd and however they get to like lease one of these girls.
No, Froggy, keep going. I think you should keep going. I think the women of the world need to hear your opinions on these things. Talk more about how sex workers are property. That's a funny joke. It was super funny the third time that you referred to women as property.
I don't have a horse in this race, but let's be real. dudes on a podcast or a space, whatever you want to call it, you know, taking the piss out of the situation, kind of laughing about it, but obviously exaggerating. And for you, Ian, you, of all people, to take a moral stance when in your past you have made far worse content. I mean, I think you made Rice Gum give up making YouTube videos altogether because of how much you bullied him. Now, people do change over time, but let's not try to, you know, have you sit here and act holier than thou. It just kind of comes off as, pathetic, if I'm being real. Women should be treated with respect, but let's just be very clear here. If you are selling your body online, pictures to hundreds of guys, and even willing to do sexual acts, you don't even respect yourself. So why will people respect you? As someone that has gone across the Atlantic Ocean on ships and has seen the world, yes, prostitution and sex work is allowed in other countries, but while it is legal, we don't talk about the ugly, ugly underground of it, where these young girls are taken against their will and forced into this style of life so people could profit off them. It's a very shady business. And as for OnlyFans itself, if you had a daughter, I know for a fact, if you are sane, you would not want her on that platform selling herself. I don't look down on women if they're attractive and beautiful. That's great. But let's also make them understand they can be successful outside of just selling themselves. Foster their minds. Foster their creativity. There are ways in which they could make a living, and a far better living than just selling themselves for a couple bucks a month. I'd be interested to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What did you think of this situation? And yeah, some internet weirdos. I'm Captain Paul, and I'll see you in the next one.